Hello people, and welcome back to Jon Sheppard Fitness. Today we are talking about why you are not shredded while on a diet. Why have you not seen the signs of your abs, seen definition in your body, and you've been on a diet for so long, and why you're not seeing it still after so many weeks, even months dieting. Today I'm going to go through why you're probably not seeing it and tips on how to actually get defined, get them abs popping, and then you can incorporate these actual tips into your diet and then get some actual abs showing so you're ready for the summer and you can show them off. So for the basics, you need to know that it is calories in, calories out. To lose weight, you have to expend more calories than you are on your daily maintenance. So everybody has a different maintenance level expenditure. So that could be anything. It could be 2,000, it could be 2,500, it could be 3,000, it could be 4,000. If you're eating underneath your daily allowance, then you will lose weight no matter what you are eating. You could go on a whole cake diet and just eat cakes all day, but I wouldn't advise that because obviously you're just going to be eating lots of fat, and that is probably one of the reasons why you won't see any definition. So I'm going to go through all these tips, and hopefully one of these things I'm going to say you might be actually doing in your diet to not do and adjust it, so then it'll start working for you on the diet and you'll actually see some proper signs. First tip is to diet right. Yes, just because you're on a diet doesn't mean you're actually dieting right. Like I said just a minute ago, you could lose weight just eating cake, but is that the right way to diet? No, it isn't, because you're not eating healthy. I'm not saying you need to eat completely healthy to, see signs and see abs and definition in your body. But if you're constantly eating bad food but eating under your calories, which actually a lot of people do, like I said, you can lose weight whatever you eat, but depending on what you eat will show you better signs than others. Obviously you need to get a great vast of food in you, from veg, fruit, your proteins, your carbs, your healthy fats. You'll start gradually seeing signs. The thing is, if you keep eating bad food, the high fats, the saturated fats, the man-made food like your biscuits, your cakes, your pastries, you're not gonna see any signs, even though you're losing weight by eating some of these. But eating, like I would say, even eating half and half, like eating good food and then having a pie with it, so eating vegetables with a pie, you're not really going to see signs where you are wanting to, if you're wanting to look shredded. So you need to make sure you cut out the actual bad foods and replace them with healthy foods, low fat foods, stuff that hasn't got butter and high dairy, like your cheeses and your butters. Cut out your biscuits, your chocolates. You can still have like the odd chocolate bar. Choose a cheat day for them, but don't go overboard on them and basically eat all your calories by eating junk food. The next problem I see is people who are actually dieting right. They're actually eating healthy, but they are wanting to look shredded, but they don't train. If you don't train, you are not going to keep them muscles. When on a dieting phase, obviously you lose fat, but also you will lose muscle. First of all, your fat will disappear over muscle, but if you do not train, your muscles won't sustain. And especially on what sort of diet, if you're on a very strict, like harsh cut, that you're going to be losing a lot more weight quicker. You're going to be losing a lot more muscle quicker as well. Slower diets are probably the best way of keeping muscle. So if you've got no time scale, I would say losing a pound a week is absolutely brilliant. You will keep your muscle, but train as well. train to stimulate their muscles, to keep their muscles active, so they will keep there. And you can even grow muscles. If you're on a really slow diet, you can actually grow muscle as well. Don't believe all the nonsense you hear about that you can't grow muscles on a diet. Yes, it is true, you can't if you're on a really strict, like harsh cut. If you're losing weight very slowly, you can still gain muscle as long as you do it right, and you don't cut and diet too harsh. The next tip to actually go with the last tip is keeping your protein levels high. If you know anything about bodybuilding, building muscle, we all know that protein is one of the main sources of building muscle. If you have enough protein in your diet, it can help you build muscle, obviously with training. And if you do not have enough protein in you, it can not help you basically keep the muscle what you actually have got. And a lot of people do, when they tend to diet, is they lower everything, lower the carbs, the fats and the protein. But if you are training, or even if you're not training, up your protein higher than what you usually have, and that will help keep the muscle you do have. The next tip is, I wouldn't say it's a tip, but it might offend some of you, and that is you just haven't got enough muscle. You may not have no muscle at all. Well, of course we all have muscle to function, but to look ripped, to look good, you might not have enough muscle. You see it time and time again, lots of people who are very slim but there's no muscle on them. The skinny fat look where they're very thin, but you don't see no abs, you don't see no muscle because they are very slight. It's because they have no muscle. The reason why they are skinny fat is because they've got a high metabolism to burn off a lot of that fat, and they don't put weight on. But the reason why they are called skinny fat is because you always have a layer of fat over your muscles, and because they can burn off most of the calories because of their high metabolism, they still keep that layer of fat over basically the skin. It is like a layer of fatness between your skin and your muscles, and it basically covers any signs of any muscles you've got on you. You're gonna get rid of that fat if you're eating any sort of junk food. So if you do want to see your abs, unless you are genetically blessed, where some people can actually have a higher fat rate and still see their abs. For instance, Mike Thurston's a great example. He has just got really good muscle mass, such good muscle development in his body. His muscles can make him look a lot more shredded than he is. Dieting for a long time is the only way to get rid of all your body fat to start showing your abs. And that brings me on to the last tip. You just aren't dieting long enough. If you have been dieting for 2 or 3 months, then you're probably halfway there. If you are dieting slowly, like I said before, and you're losing £1 a week, this is not going to be a quick fix. It's maybe going to take you over a year to start looking like you're shredded, and it also depends on how much fat you have actually got on you, what you weigh anyway. So everybody's different from one person to another person. Somebody gets shredded a lot quicker than another person. Just a waiting game. Yes, you can go on like these 12-week cuts, but also you're only gonna get shredded if your body is at a low enough percentage to start off with. I would say a 12-week cut for somebody who wants to get shredded, I would say you're probably looking about the 15% mark, and you will get shredded over 12 weeks. But if you are over that, if you are actually overweight, it's going to take you a lot longer. And like I said before, if you want to get shredded quicker, yes, you can go on harsher diets, but then you got to remember you could lose muscle mass from this. I always suggest, if you're going to diet and you've got no plans, no time scale, diet slowly, because then you can lose weight, build muscle and actually come out probably looking better than you would do than you do a harsh cut. So what I'd say is, if you are wanting to get shredded, get a professional. If you're wanting to get all the hassle out of the way, they will help you get shredded, you know, and all hassle free. You don't have to worry about it. Or if you know what you're doing, just be patient. Just remember to cut out the bad stuff. Train at the gym as much as possible. Eat protein a bit higher than you usually do, and remember that it takes time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a massive thumbs up. If you're new to this channel, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.